Hey guys, welcome back to the Sobacksports podcast, and we are so back with another episode. And wow, what a couple of games that we had this last 2 days. I felt like initially the playoffs started off boring, but these divisional round games have been pretty, at least somewhat entertaining. Especially today's games. But yeah, we're gonna go more in depth into that. And we're gonna go to each uh matchup and get our kind of thoughts about that as well. But before getting into that, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Really means a lot. Really helps to create content like this for you guys. We're about to hit 600 subscribers hopefully soon. Like about 30 something subscribers away. So feel free to subscribe, share this video. Helps with the algorithm too. Um, yeah, I just get right into it, man. Um, oh, whoops, I did not come prepared. But yeah, I guess we can just go straight into it. Is there a game you wanted to kind of start off with?
I mean, we can just go in order, like the games that happened. I think.
Yeah, fine with me. You want to
hmm
start with this one?
Yeah, I think this game, uh, I mean, I like the outcome. I wanted the Chiefs to win. I mean, unpopular opinion, but I think this game was really good. I mean, I think it was underwhelming at the start. I think there was a lot of rust for the Kansas City Chiefs to start the game, but I think when the game started, I think like when it hit the second quarter, it started to click for the Chiefs. Um, Mahomes didn't have like the greatest game, but he does what is needed for the team to win. And this team again is led by their defense first and then their offense. So I mean the Texans, they just were not matched well against this team. Like I really don't think that they had a chance at all. Like I think like if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, you were not worried at all. I mean, like there was no way the Texans were gonna beat the Chiefs. So um for the Texans, I think real quick, I think like CJ Stroud was sacked 8 times, which is just crazy. So I think this offseason and in the draft, the Texans needed to go all in on offensive line because they need a better offensive line. I think the only guy that on the offensive line that's decent is Larry Me Tunsil. Everyone else like can be replaced. I feel like. I think Stroud played solid. I mean, the stats are not like everything, but he had 245 yards, zero touchdowns, zero interceptions. He didn't turn over the ball. He did rush for a lot. I think he picked up a lot of first downs um, running the ball too, which is really really good. And he was forced to because of his offensive line. Uh, so I think like if you're a Texans fan, I mean, it's not the outcome you wanted, but at the end of the day, this team is still young. They still have a lot of promise. I think this offseason, you got to bring back, I think you bring back Stephon Diggs and you bring back, I mean, obviously you have Tank Dell. I think this team can really grow a lot and go to the next level. They were just barred with injuries this season. Um, and yeah, and CJ Stroud's one of those dogs, man. He is one of those guys. In my opinion, he's top five still, but a lot of people are going to disagree with me there. But he's still a really, really good quarterback, and they will one day get over the hump of the AFC divisional round. But then moving on to the Chiefs real quick, I mean, this is just like we know the Chiefs, man. We know that they're gonna win. They're gonna find a way to win every game, man. They're gonna find a way. And what really annoyed me, and I made this video on my channel, so you guys want to see my full post game reaction to that, it's on my channel. What really annoyed me was like people like made it about the refs, right? I understand the refs here and there had some questionable calls, but there are questionable calls in every game. And I feel like the reason why people always go at the Chiefs is because they win all the time. And like that's why, I mean, we see this in all sports. We saw it with LeBron James. We saw it with Michael Jordan. I mean, if you guys were there in the 90s, he would get calls. LeBron would get calls. Tom Brady would get calls. And now we're seeing this with Patrick Mahomes, right? I do understand he did flop and he didn't get the call, but that was kind of weird. Obviously, Mahomes, like he can't do that. But I think like the calls are fine. I rewatched all of them. They were fine. I mean, the roughing the passer one was clear. I mean, the rule is if the defender, after the ball is thrown, hits any part of the helmet or the neck area, that is roughing the passer. That is a good rule because it's a very dangerous play. People can get concussions, people can break their necks. They have to protect the passer. I mean, Will Anderson
But
is
if
just a
it's
sore loser.
any other quarterback, that would not be called then.
No, that's not true because if you look at the calls, if you look at the stat, actually, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills get the most penalties in the league. Actually, it's actually a stat. He and the Buffalo Bills get the most stats, and that's not even true. A lot of quarterbacks get those calls. We're just always everyone just always pinpoints it at the Chiefs because they win the game, and people are tired of the Chiefs winning the games. That's the
I don't
reason
know.
why. But
Hmm.
I still think that I'm just tired of people just always blaming the refs. I mean, Will Anderson, sore loser, bro. Nobody likes you anymore, bro. Like, I'm sorry. You cannot be blaming the refs, man. You just can't. Like, just take your L, buddy. You take your L. You're not going to win the game. You got diced up by Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead. You lost, buddy. Go take your L. I hate when players blame the refs. Like, you could have played better. You didn't. Um, but yeah, I think the Texans again, they have a solid team. They have a solid roster. They're going to get over the hump one day. But right now, the Chiefs were just a better team. We got to all admit that. Like, we're seeing greatness here. We're seeing Patrick Mahomes. I'm not even a Chiefs fan. I just like Mahomes. I like to see greatness, and we're seeing greatness right now. And appreciate it when you can, man, because you don't know how long these players are going to be playing. Travis Kelsey could be playing his last playoff game next week or in the Super Bowl. Could be playing his last playoff game. He balled out this game. 117 yards, one touchdown. That Mahomes touchdown, like, is just crazy. We're going to see a lot of Mahomes throughout his career, obviously, but I'm excited to see what Mahomes can do next week against the Bills in Arrowhead, man. I'm excited, man.
That's fair. I mean, personally, like I kind of disagree with some points, but I kind of understand where you're coming from when it comes to like bad calls and all that. Um, the one thing, it wasn't necessarily the roughing the passer or the other calls that really irked me about this game. It was at the end of the game when I don't know if you caught this, but at the end of the game, it was like I don't know who ran in, um, ran it back and caused a safety for the Texans. Um, I forgot who it was, but it was essentially because it made no sense because at the end of the game they just ran it back in before punting. I think.
Yeah, was
Um,
smart. You know why they did that? Because they
why was
wanted to
that
pin
smart?
back the Texans. They wanted to pin back the Texans. A lot of teams do that. They like
No, no,
that's a
no,
smart play.
no. I'm talking about the one time when, like, they. I felt like that last play. Like there was no pinning because they weren't punting it. It wasn't anything. It wasn't the safety on the thing. I was talking about like the Chiefs. It was on their own end zone. They caused themselves. It's on them on the Chiefs themselves. Um, I thought that was. I mean, a lot of people are making speculation about, especially even the commentators were like, "What the heck was that?" Um, and it was apparently like the spread was a certain amount of points. In this case, it was like about 30 something points, and they just needed the safety in order to get the spread. Um, I don't know. I just thought that was a little bit weird, like because that's never really happens in the game. That really irked me a lot. And like, yes, okay, you can say everything like when it comes to the refs and stuff. Fine, all right, but I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is, but I think that they know how to win. Chiefs know how to win. Defensively, they're really solid. Texans, give credit where credit's due. They made it this far. Um, and they did what they could. Um, they beat a Chargers team. They didn't really play good in that either, but they gave it their best effort against the Chiefs, but it wasn't enough at all. But yeah, like you said, next year they have to really focus on the offensive line. But I don't know, man. It's kind of gotten to a point where you didn't really have a conversation about Bobby Slowick on the Texans team. I Last year I think he did a really solid job. I think he did fine. Not anything super great this year. I think he really had a huge drop off, especially with the injuries and whatnot. But it's it's not a really good look, especially when you're going to interviews because I think he will get some interviews. But I feel like I don't know if the Texans were going to retain him next year, just for the sole
Why not?
purpose of how bad the offense turned out to be post CJ Stroud's rookie year. I don't think they're going to fire him, but I just think there was going to be definitely conversations about Bobby
I
Slowick.
disagree. I
Why
disagree
not?
because I think really what okay, so my thing is when you limit okay, so the offensive play calls that are made for any offense, when you don't have your star players,
Mhm.
you're not gonna have the same production of offense. Stephon
That's fair.
Diggs and Tank Dell were injured. I mean, I know Tank Dell I mean, Nico Collins was injured. I feel like this year there have been a lot of injuries and like the offensive line, I mean, I really can't blame I'm not saying Slow doesn't like get any blame, but if I'm running it back. I'm running it back again because I think you got to bank on Diggs being healthy. I think he'll be healthy, and then you got to have Nico Collins fully healthy. I feel like if this team's fully healthy next season, I think CJ Stroud could take that next step, which he has been. Like, why would you ruin it and get someone else, right? I don't think anyone's gonna hire him as a head coach this season. I really don't. I think there's a lot more better candidates out there. So if I'm the Texans, I keep Slowick and I run it back next season. Hopefully everyone gets healthy. You invest in an offensive line, and this team can be a lot different than what we see, man. Because this team is very talented. It just they happen to go against the Kansas City Chiefs, man. They
That's
just happen
fair.
to go against them.
Yeah, I can see that. But I just think that
But like
I think
enough
there
with
was
the narrative. Like here's my thing with like enough narrative that the Chiefs get bailed by refs, man. It's just annoying at this
it
point, man. It's just
kind of is true though. It is true. I mean, listen, you don't have to
every team gets
believe
those
in it,
calls.
but it's true. Like you got to let's be really honest with ourselves. Like yes, you're going to be a championship team. You're a very good team, but you have to admit as well you're a good team, but you do get some calls that go your way. That's comes with being a
But
good
that's for
team.
that's for every team. That's for
Not
every team. Like
necessarily.
you're gonna have calls go your way. It's just how
Not
it works.
necessarily,
I
but at
mean,
the rate but the thing is, the
and we
rate
gotta
at which
invalidate all. We have
you
to invalidate all of LeBron's rings because LeBron was getting insane amount of calls, and you know why people? You know why he gets those calls? Because he's LeBron James. He's LeBron James. You know why Justin
but that
Jefferson
doesn't
and like
necessarily
Jamar?
mean that
You know why
like
Justin Jefferson,
but
Jamar
that
Chase
doesn't
get the most PI calls? It's because they're Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. And, like you have to understand, like okay, yeah, certain star players are gonna get some calls go their way, but that does not diminish how good and how they're winning these games. They're
I
winning because they're the
I
best team.
I don't think that's necessarily what I'm saying. I'm saying like and I'm not saying that they're bad and they're trying to get they're banking on these calls or anything like that. That's not my point. I'm just saying that they're great and they benefit from getting these calls as well. Like
It's every
there
team,
has to be
man.
some conversation to have that about that. I'm not saying that they're
But you're like
completely
when you're saying that you're diminishing how good this team is
I mean, I
because you're
guess you
making
could
an
say that.
excuse. Because had the Texans won the game and they had calls go their way, we would not be talking about the refs. We would not be talking about the refs.
I mean, listen, a lot of them are blatant calls. Like I feel like both sides, but it's
Okay,
like
no. If the Texans got those same calls and the Chiefs didn't, we would not be talking about the Texans. We would be talking about how CJ Stroud conquered Patrick Mahomes, and for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' history, he is not going to the AFC Championship game. But since Patrick Mahomes keeps on constantly winning games and constantly breaking records and being the best damn quarterback we've ever seen and winning games, and people are just tired of that because they don't want to see greatness, we're just gonna say, "Oh yeah, it's the refs." That's what I'm pissed off about. Like,
I
why?
mean,
Why can't we just
I
admit?
would personally I would make sure you look at the penalties really in depth
I did
because
look at the
it
penalties. I did
was
look at them. The
it
one, okay,
is.
I'll say there was one call that should not have been made, and that was the one where he slid. Okay, fine. But I've seen Josh Allen get those calls. I've seen Lamar Jackson get those calls. But when Patrick Mahomes get those calls, we are all just so mad about it. Because you know why? Because he's the best player in the world. It's because he is a winner. He wins. And we're tired of seeing winners. We're tired of seeing it. That's why I'm saying, like, if it was Josh Allen or if it was Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, CJ Stroud, we'd be like, oh yeah, who cares? Who cares about these calls? Who cares? They slayed the dragon. Like, I don't understand the narrative behind that, man. I don't understand it. Like, do we not want to see greatness? Do we just want to see mediocreness? Like, if that's the case, okay, fine. I mean, I'll be honest. If the Texans had won, we would not be talking about refs, man. We would not be talking about it. Everybody will have their victory lap, saying Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are done. Dynasty's over. But no, they're not over because the Chiefs know how to win, unlike the Texans. They know how to win.
Okay.
It's not
I
the
mean,
refs, man. At,
I
at
guess.
some point, dude. Okay, I'm telling you right now. Let's just say Caleb Williams becomes Patrick Mahomes. Are you gonna say it's the refs?
I
Like, look at
mean,
the
even
Kansas City
Chiefs
Chiefs
fans
fans.
admit it. I would assume that Chiefs fans also admit that they do
No, they
benefit from the
don't.
calls.
That's every
Like every
team,
team
though. That's every.
benefits. Like any good
That's
team.
every dynasty. That's every dynasty. Did you not see
Yeah,
the
that's
Jordan documentary? Like the
yeah.
ref
Every
literally came
dynasty
up to Jordan and
does.
said,
But I'm just saying that like you have to like they recognize it. That's the thing. Like that's a part of it, and
so
you
are
have
you
to
saying the
just.
game was rigged? Are you one of those guys on Twitter that's saying the game was rigged and the
I
Chiefs
didn't say
got
the
all the
game was
calls go the
rigged.
way?
No, I didn't say the game was rigged. Like I'm just
But
saying
you're
that they
saying
got some calls that could benefit them. That's it.
okay, but I think that when you say that, you're diminishing their win.
I guess that's up to the user's interpretation because I didn't say
Because
that
like it's like
like they
it's like well,
definitely won this game. I'm just saying from his
they were the better
perspective that
team
they just
and they won
made
the game.
okay, but I'm just saying from the perspective of the
Mhm.
calls, they just went their way. That's it. That's
But
all in
why?
plain and
Okay, this,
simple.
this is my thing. I've never seen a team in the NFL every time they win a game. It's like it's the refs. Like I'm tired. Well, why?
I mean, there are a decent amount of I mean, especially with the Patriots as well too. Like they also benefited a lot from calls as well. Especially Tom Brady did too when they were on their dynasty
Wait,
run
no,
too.
but you know
So
what? You know
I
what? We
mean,
all say he's the GOAT. We all say he's the GOAT and he's the undisputed GOAT and all that. But when
I
Patrick
mean,
Mahomes wins these
if
games,
you're really looking at if you're looking at like the discrepancy here, I mean, the yardage wise, like I
the
mean, there
Texans
is
got
a
more penalties.
yeah. Where who is getting the calls?
He
Like
got they got okay. They got two more penalties than the Chiefs. We're really complaining about
no,
that.
they got four more.
Oh, sorry, four more. That look eight. Okay, they got four more penalties than the Chiefs.
Okay, but
Like
82 yards.
at the end of the day, like
Yeah, I
why?
agree
Okay,
that some of them were on the Texans. Don't get me wrong, they
no, no,
were.
no, no. But like, why do we always like? Here's my thing with sports media, and like this is why sports has gotten so bad. It's like why do we always go to like why do we always make an excuse? Like why do we always make an excuse here? It's just so stupid. Like the Chiefs were the better team. They're the best team, and until they lose, we cannot call them bad or getting lucky. They're the best team. They know how to win these games. They know how to win these games. Mahomes
I
is the
mean, there
best player
was
on the planet.
there,
He
there
is the
is
best player.
some. I would. There was some luck in this year, dude. I wouldn't say that there was no
So
luck.
block. Okay,
I mean, that's
okay. So what are the luck? Okay, let me walk through the Chiefs' victories. Okay, Isaiah Likely. He puts his toe. I mean, buddy, put your toe in the put your feet in bounds, buddy.
I mean,
They learned that
they caught a
that's
break with that
fundamental.
too. That's a
That is
break.
fundamental. That is fundamentals of football. I'm not blaming
Okay,
luck
but
on
that's
that.
like, but okay, that's a break.
The
Okay,
Bengals game, that's a PI call. That's literally a PI call. Like everyone's gonna say it's not. It
okay,
is
you
a
can say it's
PI
a
call.
toss up. Fine, fine. Okay, you can say it's a toss up.
How's that a
Okay.
toss up? That's a PI call. Everybody's getting a call for that. Okay, and then what's the other one? There was the blocked field goal. I mean, that's skill. That is
Okay.
skill.
Yeah, that's fair.
As a Bears
It's
fan,
like
the Packers did it to us. Yeah, that's skill. I'm sorry, that is skill.
yeah. Okay. Okay, you can say that.
I
Yeah.
mean, and then I don't know all the games like what else was like
It's fine.
oh
I no like
a doink field goal kick. They made it. I mean They made it. How many
Yeah. Okay.
kicks have we
Fine.
seen go in and go in? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they find ways to win. Like, I don't understand what's so hard for people to understand that this team, although they're not gonna throw the ball insane amount this year, and they're and ever since this dynasty when they lost Tyreek Hill, they've not been such a team that is not like they're not gonna sling the rock like so much times, but they find ways to win. Why can't we appreciate that? Why do we always turn to the refs? Like the refs did this, the refs did that. Like, who cares? They won. They're the winners. Texans. If y'all complain about this, you're not you as a franchise. Y'all are not ready to be a winner and ready to be a dynasty, man. Ever. You're not, because people like Will Anderson complaining about the refs. He's a loser at that point, man. You're being a loser. You're being a sore loser. I lost a lot
Okay.
of respect for Will Anderson, man. Like, you cannot be saying it's us against the refs, man. You lost the game. You lost the game.
Okay. All right.
That's my
I
opinion,
guess.
bro. That's my opinion. We can agree to disagree, though.
Yeah. Agree to disagree. Yeah. But anyways, the Commanders Lions game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, boy. I mean, it was for me personally. Like, I don't really like supporting either of these teams for obvious reasons. But obviously, I had to support the Commanders, unfortunately, because I cannot support the Lions. Divisional game. Um, but yeah, the Commanders completely took advantage of all the turnovers that Jared Goff threw. Because let's be really honest with ourselves, like, as much as we want to put it on Ben Johnson, which you can say maybe one play or a few, but every that's with every offensive coordinator. You can even but for the most part, Ben Johnson truly tried to keep this game afloat, but it just not only were the defense getting diced up left and right, but also Jared Goff, not only with the interception and it fumbled to start back to back, two more to add on to that. And, I just give credit where credit is due to the Washington Commanders. They came into Ford Field very big underdogs, especially in this game, and took care of business, did what they could. And especially against the Lions team, who I'll admit is banged up defensively. But it's always the next man up to league. And like you said, no excuse, right? And they took care of business. Both these teams, I would say, I think the game got away after halftime when it was 52 points combined or so in a
Mm-hmm.
half, which is kind of crazy. It was like offensive. Like, if you like offense, this was your game for the first half or this entire game, because 76 points in a playoff game is cinema. Let's be really honest with ourselves. How it's been distributed is up to the teams, but looking at the stats, like, Jaden didn't have an insane game, but he did a lot in the game to make
I would say
it
he did.
like, yeah, he did. But I'm just saying, like, it wasn't like a 400 yard, 500, like, it wasn't anything crazy. It was still pretty good. 300, like about 300 yards, two touchdowns, did his
I'll give him
job.
300. I'll give him
Yeah,
300.
fine. Brian Robinson, two touchdowns, really solid. Deami Brown, man. Like, I mean, you give credit to Terry McLaurin and whatnot, but Deami Brown showed up in this game. Gotta give his flowers to, because this dude was taken, I think, before Amon-Ra St. Brown or something like that. And there was like this thing going around about like Amon-Ra being like, I'll remember this. I'll remember, he's not gonna see the field that much. And him showing out against Amon-Ra when the Detroit Lions are the first seed, pretty big stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and Jameer Gibbs, hats off to him on the Lions side, because he really did all he could for this game. What else was it? Like, as a whole, like, maybe they did kind of rush Montgomery back, I think. Personally, I felt like they did, because he wasn't super effective in this game. I mean, obviously you could see by the stats, but after watching the game as well, I just didn't think he was necessarily used effectively. But to be fair, Jameer Gibbs was really popping off, but I digress. Um, as a whole, not really much else to say. Do you see that Sam Laporta catch though? That
Yeah, it was
one-handed
crazy.
diving. Damn,
That's crazy,
that was
man.
beautiful. That was beautiful. But yeah, Jared Goff put up a stinker to this game. I genuinely think that, yeah, and he did take some like he had like a big hit and kind of had to go to the medical tent for a bit, but it was just not a good look. And especially with Jamison Williams, that one interception throw, like that did pull the Keenan Allen essentially. Another thing that was a bit questionable, but the thing about the okay, let me a little bit of sidebar. I'm sorry, I'm talking a little over you and all that, but um, when you're a wide receiver, when you're like, I was like listening to a podcast on this, and they went over that specific play. When you're a wide receiver, and Ben Johnson in this case calls this play, there's two things you have to really look at if you're a wide receiver. One, you're looking to either pass, or two, you're looking to either throw it out. If the pass isn't completely clearly there, and the team isn't completely full, throw it out. Plain and simple. That same thing could be applied to Keenan Allen in that Detroit Lions game. Okay? In this case, Jameson Williams thought he could make this pass, thought he was the quarterback to do so. Because if you looked at how Ben Johnson has done these wide receiver passes and stuff with Amon Ra, St. Brown, especially throwing it to Jared Goff and whatnot, right?
Hmm.
It's usually when they're really wide open or in short yardage situations and they just needed an explosive play. This case, they wanted to utilize that so they can gain some momentum. But the momentum is either lost or gained, or sorry, lost mainly if you throw an interception, but not lost if you throw it out of bounds. If it's just not there, just throw it out. Like, that's the thing that people are criticizing Ben Johnson about, because it makes no sense. You're taught as a wide receiver, if you're running this play, throw it out. If you don't clearly see the target wide open, that's just me. All in all, I
Hmm.
thought this was a very interesting game. Unfortunately, the Commanders are making the NFC Championship game, but it was better than the Lions making it, in my opinion. But that's here no there. All right, I talked too much already.
Damn.
You go ahead.
This game. This game was a. This is annoying. This game was really annoying for me. The one time I cheered for the Detroit Lions. The one
You
time
cheered for the Detroit Lions is crazy, man. I can't
I
believe it.
did, bro. I did, bro. I did. But here's the thing, like, I was thinking, like, I was watching this game, I was like, is Jaden Daniels top five? Like, this season, is he top five? Like, he went 12-5 with the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
He just went. He went into Baker Mayfield's house, beat them. He went into the Commanders and boat raced. Sorry, went into the Lions and boat raced them. And what if he goes to the link? The way Jalen Hurts has been playing, the way the Eagles' offense has been playing, I would not be surprised if the Commanders go into the link and beat them. If Daniels goes to the Super Bowl, is he top five? Like, he's doing things that CJ Stroud didn't even do. Because CJ Stroud last year had the chance to go into Baltimore last year and pull the upset. He didn't do it.
Can I interject real quick? Just real quick.
Yeah.
The difference I think between CJ Stroud and the Jaden Daniels is that I just think, I know it's not really much to say, but I think their level of competition was a lot tougher for CJ Stroud being in the AFC than it was in the NFC. That's just me. I think that the
But
path
who did
for
he play in the
Jaden
first round?
Daniels, because if Jaden Daniels was in the AFC, I think he would have a similar path to CJ Stroud. He would have a good
No, well,
season.
I would disagree with you because I would say that the Lions this season were the second best team in the league. They were. behind the
They
Chiefs. They
were,
were the number two
they
seed.
were, but
They're
it
the
was
number
just like
two, and he beat. Okay, I'm sorry. Like CJ Stroud last year beat Joe Flacco. Like he did. He beat Joe Flacco. But
that's
he beat
true. But he
it,
wasn't. Joe Flacco was not on
Jaden
defense.
Daniels. Jaden Daniels beat Baker Mayfield. Like Baker Mayfield, who was had a career year, had 4,500 yards, and the Buccaneers are a pretty solid team. He beat them. He beat them in on the road. No, only one other rookie quarterback's ever done that, and that was Russell Wilson. Like he is going to the NFC Championship. He did something that the Commanders have not done since 1991, and that is go to the NFC Championship game. Like I, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words because, like, again, like as much as I don't want to see like Jaden go do it, like I kind of do want to see it. I really want to see it. I want to see Jaden Daniels go to the Super Bowl. I really do. I I actually like kind of like Jaden Daniels right now because his game is just so fun to watch, man.
I
It really
agree.
is. I I I was pissed that he did it to us. Um, Hail Mary, but you know what? That's just on us, man. Like we can't let that happen against
That's
the
agree.
Commanders. But I just think that man, the future is so bright for this guy, man. It really is. And I feel like this offseason, they're gonna get in weapons. And once they get in weapons, once they like make this team a little bit better, dude, the sky is the limit for this Commanders team. Like I think they can be the best team in the NFC East. They can compete for the NFC next season as the number one seed next year. That's how great Jaden Daniels is. And if I'm talking about the greatest rookie quarterback ever, I'm going with Jaden Daniels. I know I praise CJ Stroud a lot. I really
I
have.
don't know.
I
I don't
really
think
have. But I think Jaden Daniels, like I get it. CJ Stroud had a better rookie season, like as a rookie, like as a in the regular season. But I'm talking about in the postseason. I gotta go with JD5. I mean, he went into Detroit
I I
and
have to
smacked them.
disagree. I have to disagree with that. I think it's a lot of to do with like recency bias a lot. I agree. He had a great set. I mean, if he makes a Super Bowl, yeah, I can definitely see that. But you can't ever forget Andrew Luck, dude. Like you cannot forget Andrew Luck's rookie season. And I think a lot of people, including me, forget that while CJ Stroud's, rookie
Let's see
season
Andrew
was
Luck's
great,
numbers, man.
his numbers are in his rookie season, he threw for 4,374 yards, 23 touchdowns, 18
What are you in
interceptions,
the
and
playoffs, man?
I
What
think
are you
he
doing
went
in the
to the
playoffs?
AFC Championship game in his rookie season. I think
You
so.
sure? There's no way he did because there's no way. I don't think he did. I think he got bounced in the first round.
Oh, never mind. He didn't go in his rookie season, no. But they went 11-5 in his rookie
I
season.
don't care, man. Like, yeah, Jaden Daniels went 12-5, and he like he went. I'm sorry, he went to the Detroit Lions home. It was at home too, in a
That's fair.
hostile environment, and he not only just beat them, he put belt to ass to them. He stole the Lions what they did in the regular season, and he did it right to them, man. Like I can't even hate on this anymore. Like Jaden Daniels is that guy. He is that guy. Like whether we like it or not, he is the best rookie quarterback in the class. I'm not saying he's better than Caleb. I mean, right now he is. I'm not saying the Bears should have drafted Jaden. Caleb is still the right pick. I'm just saying right now, Jaden Daniels is the guy, and like in my opinion, right now, he's top five. He's top five right now. I'm putting him
Top
over
5
CJ.
is the
And no, no,
top
and
5 is
guys, you guys know I like CJ Stroud a lot. I literally said last week that CJ Stroud was top five, but after what I saw in the divisional round, and both of them went against the number one seed in their home place, and I get it, the Chiefs are like all the way up here, and like the Lions are here, but you gotta give it to like who does he have? He elevates talent. Like who was De'Ami Brown? Like who was he? No one knew who he was. No one did. I promise you, no one knew who De'Ami Brown was until Jaden Daniels arrived. And credit to CJ Stroud, he elevated Nico Collins. No one knew who Nico Collins was, and now Nico Collins is like a top 10 receiver in the league. Credit to CJ Stroud. But if we look at this, he's going to the NFC Championship game. And if he goes into the link next week and he beats them, wins 3 road games. He wins 3 road games. And mind you, CJ Stroud also had a home game to start off his rookie season. He did. He had a
Mhm.
home game against Joe Flacco. I'm not discrediting that. That was a great win. I'm just saying, if he wins 3 road playoff games as a rookie and he goes to Super Bowl, whether he wins Super Bowl or not, he just accomplished something that Josh Allen couldn't do. He so far he's accomplished what Lamar Action Jackson hasn't done. Right? I mean, Jalen Hurts did go to the Super Bowl, so I can't say he didn't. But I'm just saying, like, you gotta put him there. You gotta. Because why do we put Joe Burrow in the MVP? Why do we put Joe Burrow in the top like 5 conversation? Even though he's never won an MVP, he's missed the playoffs multiple times. It's because he's gone to the Super Bowl. He's won a lot of playoff games. I'm just saying, if he does it, man, like, you might have to put him there. But not real quick. Let me go to the Lions' perspective. I mean, this season's a fail, bro. It is. Like, you can't go 15-2 and lose to a rookie quarterback on the road. I get it. Jaden's a baller, but you can't do this. You just can't. I get it. You have injuries, but your offense sucked. I mean, it's not like, okay. I get it. Your defense gave up 45 points. Like, you can't win a game when your defense gave up 45 points. But also, the defense really didn't give up 45 points. Jared Goff threw a pick six. Jared Goff also turned over the ball 4 times, and JMO turned over the ball once. Like, when your offense is turning over the ball 5 times against an electric offense like the Commanders, you're gonna lose the game. You
Mhm.
deserve to lose the game. Like, I don't understand what the line. I think this game is a very important game for them because it's gonna be a humbling moment for them. They're gonna realize that they're not that great and that they need to stop doing these trickery plays, and they just have to start taking opponents seriously. And next season, I know they're probably gonna lose both their coordinators. Maybe Aaron Glenn stays because after this atrocious defensive effort, I don't know if he's getting a head coaching
I think
job.
he'll still get a job somewhere. I
He
think he
might.
will.
So yeah. Okay, if he does, you still got to get 2 coordinators. Like,
Mm.
I think Dan Campbell's a great coach, but you got to get 2 coordinators. Um, like, here's the thing. Here's another thing the Commanders did. They played the Lions game. They played the Lions game. What I mean by that is the Lions are known for going for 4th down a lot. But you know
Hold
what the
on, hold
Commanders
on.
did?
Wait. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just
Yeah.
wanted to do it before I forget this really crucial part. This kind of ties to what you were going to say. Should teams give more consideration to Cliff Kingsbury as head coach?
No, I wouldn't, man. I really wouldn't.
No, I'm not saying
I
like the
really wouldn't.
Bears. I'm not. Okay, okay. Hear me out. I'm not talking about the Bears only. I'm just talking about teams as a whole.
Okay, here's my thing with Cliff. I think Cliff is a great offensive coordinator, but I just don't think he's a good coach, man. We saw it happen in the Arizona Cardinals, and don't tell me that team was not talented. That team was decently talented. Like, they wanted him out. Like, I wouldn't. I know deserve second chances. Okay, the only way I can see Cliff making a team work is if he goes to like the Cowboys. Actually, I don't even know the Cowboys. Like, he goes to a team that is stacked with talent, and like, yeah, he has to go to like a team that's like stacked with talent. And I don't see a head coaching job that has that. So no, like, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I don't trust Cliff to be your coach. No. But going back to this, I think Cliff Kingsbury. I said not Cliff Kingsbury. I think the Commanders went into Detroit and played a fantastic game. They played the Lions game and they beat them. Like, that was kind of impressive, right? Like, you go to the Lions Stadium and you play the 4th down game and you still beat them, man. It's like it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Commanders, man. Congratulations to them. They're going to the NFC Championship game. I will be cheering for the Commanders because nobody wants to see the Eagles go to the Super Bowl. Like, I mean, those fans suck. So,
I agree, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who to like. Both these teams are garbage. I don't want to like. No, not garbage. Sorry. Hold on. Before everyone gets at me, I'm not saying these teams are. I'm just saying like I don't want to support either of them right now, especially picking a team.
No, I kind of want to see
Unfortunately,
the.
I have to
I
pick
want
the
to see the.
Eagles, but
I think the Commanders. I think
I
the.
don't like it.
I'll give you guys. I'll give you guys a spoiler prediction. I think the Commanders beat the Eagles, and then I think
That could
they lose
happen.
to the.
That could.
I think it's gonna be Chiefs Commanders in the Super Bowl, and I think the Chiefs win.
All right, let's quickly talk about. We're kind of running short on time. We kind of yapped a lot,
Yeah,
but um,
speaking of the Eagles, man.
yeah, you want to go talk about it? You go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the Eagles like Jalen Hurts. You you are so lucky you have the Eagles, man. You are so lucky that you're the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. I promise you, if you were the quarterback of any other team, you would not even be a starter in the league, bro. The way you are playing the game of football is terrible. You can't make simple throws. I'm sorry. Like your only throws you can make are screen passes. That's literally all. You can't hit deep shots. I mean, you have AJ Brown literally reading on the sideline because he's barely getting the ball. I mean, how do you muster up 130 yards with AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Gardner? Like Dallas Gardner didn't even get a single touch,
I thought
zero
he did.
receptions.
Wait,
No,
I
he got
thought he
zero
did
target.
today. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I swear he did.
Oh wait, he did. Sorry, not Dallas Gardner. There's someone else who did. I
I was
think.
like, bro. I
No,
was
yeah,
like, wait
AJ.
a second. Dallas Goddard
Never
had a
mind.
great
Never mind.
game. Mhm.
Yeah, never mind, never mind. It was someone else I was thinking about. My bad, my bad. Uh, no, that's my bad. But how do you get 128 yards? Like it's not okay. And last week he had like 140. I'm sorry. Like I can't put Jalen Hurts in the elite conversation, man. Like you're just a game manager. Like I mean that's cool that you're winning games, but man, for next week against the Commanders, Jalen Hurts has to play good. He has to play good because if he does not play good against the Commanders, the team that does not punt the ball often, they literally do not punt the ball often. So the Eagles have to score every possession. They basically to beat the Commanders, you have to score every possession or come away with points. You have to because they're a team that will go for it on fourth down and they will run the ball and two out clock. So you have to maximize your possessions. Hurts has been really bad. I think he had a really good touchdown run to open the game, but other than that, bad game for him. Saquon Barkley, man, you are amazing, man. 205 yards, two touchdown, great game for you. Keep it up. That's a good game for you. I think the Rams. I mean, I don't know. The snow got to them. I guess like they had a chance to win it at the end. I mean, the offensive line just could not block for anything. I mean, Stafford literally had like 0 seconds to throw that ball, and he just threw it out like fourth down. Like I really wanted Stafford to win that game, man. Like that would have been crazy if he did. Um, but again, I think the Rams have a great future ahead of them. I don't know how many more years Stafford got, but it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with the quarterback position. I think they'll keep him for the next like 2 years or something until Stafford retires, but I'll be interested if the Rams either the next year or so either this year or next year draft a quarterback, maybe to sit behind Matthew Stafford, and then once he retires, maybe you know McVay gets the next quarterback. I don't know about that, but I mean it's gonna be really interesting to see what the Rams do for the future. But I mean, Eagles Commanders is going to be a good game next week. But again, Jalen Hurts has to play better. He has to play better, man. Like it's not. It's like you can't be putting up 100 something yards and expect to win every playoff game, man. You just can't. Saquon Barkley is going to need some help. AJ Brown's going to need some touches. If you're not going to throw the ball to AJ Brown, give him to someone else, man. Like trade him because he's not getting the ball. Devonta Smith's not getting the ball. Like
You
Hurts is
can't
just
really trade
throwing
him when
check
he's under
downs.
that big of a contract, dude. Like,
No, I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But like, you have to utilize your players. Obviously,
yeah,
man. Like, you have
I
to.
agree. I'm just saying, like, I think another thing I'm starting to notice that just a little bit of a side note. All these games, if you notice, like they have insane total yardage numbers. Like 400, 350. Like there's I think the common denominator is that there's a lot of like if you go back to the games, like there's like above 20 points each. Like the only one outlier is literally the Texans that didn't score 20 points. Everything else has been like 20 plus points, which is kind of cool to see. At least it's not like a defensive battle, but then again, Saquon had a great game. Really have a lot to say about him because after getting traded from the Giants, like He's about to go to NFC Championship game for the first time in his career, and it looks like he's genuinely enjoying football. So the Giants, low key, like that trade was a blessing in disguise for him because that Giants are just a clown organization, anyways. So it's like it's gonna haunt them for the rest of their time, I guess. It's pretty funny in that sense, but yeah, Jalen Hurts didn't do that great. I think he also got a safety as well, or something
Yeah.
like that in this game. This is pretty not good. I feel like he's still a little banged up. I think he's a lot slower now, which is kind of weird to say, even though he had that rushing touchdown to start the game.
But
And I
even
think he
even
also
then
took
though,
like
like this season he's not been playing good,
yeah,
man.
I know he's not been playing good, but he also took 7 sacks as well. Not
Wait, guys,
ideal.
real quick. Like I want to do a little side note. I was just talking to my friends about this. I don't know if look, I'm not trying to make it about him. Like I'm just saying,
Oh
what
no.
if the Eagles plugged in Justin Fields instead of him? Justin Fields can do the same thing. No, I'm being serious. I'm being so serious. Justin Fields can run for 40 yards and get one rushing touchdown, throw for 140 yards. Same thing could happen. What makes
I
Jalen
guess.
Hurts so special? Like what? Why is he regarded as one of these like insanely top quarterbacks? Is winning? I thought wins don't is not a quarterback set. So if he doesn't have, if we take away the wins, what does he do so special?
That's
He's
fair.
not an accurate thrower. He's not a crazy runner. The only thing he's really good at is doing a tush push. But Mark Andrews is good at that. Like tight ends are good at that. Like what makes him so special? That's my
That's
thing.
fair. That's completely fair. Um, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. For that, I think it would be interesting to see that. I wouldn't mind that if he went to, but I don't like him going to the Eagles though. The thought of him going to the Eagles was
No, I don't think he's going to the Eagles. I'm just trying to say, like, if he was on
I
the
know, but
Eagles,
I'm just saying like
they
it
would
would
still
work.
be
It would
winning.
work.
Like, no, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, I'm just trying to make that like as a take because like we're saying Jalen Hurts is this special. We're putting him like tier 2, tier 3 quarterbacks. Like, why? Like,
Not
what has he
really.
done that's so special? Like, what has he done that's so special?
Yeah.
He's literally he's like a game manager playing the quarterback. Like Justin Fields can do the exact same thing.
All right. Yeah. I mean, besides that, that game was pretty, moot. Oh wait, actually, before we get into this game, I want to talk about one thing as well. Matthew Stafford, oh my god, dude. He almost came clutch in this game. Like, genuinely, it just was super unfortunate, man. It's just genuinely unfortunate. Like, dude. If Puka at the end, like, that was just unfortunate. That turnover on downs. Like, Matthew Stafford let couple of game winning drives down the field, and they what was it? They did prevent the Eagles. They had made the Eagles punt, and then they just kept driving down the field, just couldn't get it done. And I just wanted to say, like, Matthew Stafford, man, so close. I agree, like, they have to really retool this offseason, but you know, hats off to the Rams. They did fine for what
Wait,
their
real quick.
season was. They knocked off the Vikings. I always appreciate that, and I always appreciate the Eagles for taking down the Packers twice this season. So if there's
Wait.
one good
So
thing about the Eagles, it's that. Um,
wait, real quick. Like this is a little thing about Ryan Polier. Jared Verse is a dog. That guy's a dog. We could have had
yeah,
him.
but
We could have
but
had him.
he could have, but I
Oh
don't
my
know.
god,
It
bro! Imagine
had
him and Montez Sweat. Oh
him and
my god,
Montez would be cool.
our defense would have been crazy.
It would
Oh my
have.
god.
It would have. But then, I don't know. It's like it's whatever. It
We
is
were
what it is
no, because
now.
we were rumored to get. No, we were rumored to get Jared Verse. Like that was the guy
Well,
we were supposed to get.
technically, yes. It's just that he fell a lot farther than we expected.
Damn,
Um,
he's so good. He's actually
yeah,
so good.
yeah. Anyways, Baltimore versus Buffalo. I'm gonna say, I know we had a discussion earlier, and if you check out my video, yeah, it was Lamar's
No, I'll
fault.
let you talk. I'll let you do it. Take your take
Listen, it
first, and
was
then
it was
I'll.
Lamar's fault. Uh, I want to say I was originally 50-50 for me. I'm going to increase it to um I want to say 60-40 personally because it's like
Mhm.
it's 60% Lamar's fault, 40% Mandrew's fault or the rest of the team's fault. And here's why. Coming out of the gate, you cannot have an interception like that. Yes, you had a touchdown. Great. You started the game off really hot. But that whether it was a miscommunication or something, that cannot happen. The fumble cannot happen either. And listen, you came back, you had a great second half. That's awesome. And it's just that the beginning, you have to have a complete game. If you're going to be the MVP of the league, you have to have a complete game. And especially with the accusations of you being a regular season merchant arrive, you have little room to make mistakes. And that goes to my next point. While Lamar did make mistakes, it was not 100% on him. It was his skill positions as well to take blame. Mark Andrews, a tight end during the regular season, throughout his Lamar's career, has been reliable. But when it comes to the playoffs, he also does a Lamar Jackson and becomes not reliable
Yeah.
as well. And this was the nail in the coffin, I think, for his time in Baltimore because the Ravens were in a position to make a deep playoff run. And when they need him the most, he made two critical, absolutely critical fumbles. When Justin Tucker, who has been having a really tough year so far this year, is able to show up for you, even with a tough season, and still make his kicks, you can show up as well and make a simple catch for a 2-point conversion to tie the game and maybe take it into overtime. And the fumble, too. Like, as a tight end, especially in weather conditions like this, and this goes to receivers as well. Your main objective is for you to make sure since the ball is slippery that it doesn't leave your hands and slip out. You want to protect the ball as best as possible. And doing the side to side thing is reckless. And that is taught in coaching. That's a coaching 101. That's a player 101 thing. When the elements are out of your control, you cannot afford to do something like that. And eventually it falling out of your hands as well. Because Lamar completed a
Mhm.
deep pass to Mark Andrews. And Mark Andrews had some yak. He could have just after that first couple of hits, down. He decided to do a little bit more and then lost the ball and the turnover. That's unacceptable. And then at the end, the easiest pass for a 2-point conversion to tie this game. Game on the line. Lamar does everything possible, especially with that touchdown pass, to drive down the field, give that great pass to Isaiah Likely, who seems to be tight end one now for the Baltimore Ravens. And you give it to Mark, and the play design is perfect. They had the Bills beat, and Mark Andrews sold so
And
hard.
we've been tied. We've been tied.
But no. I'm talking about the beat as in like it had the Buffalo Bills beat coverage wise on the play.
Mhm.
And Mark Andrews in his hands. It was literally in his hands. Lamar couldn't have thrown a better ball. And he dropped it. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's gonna be the end of Mark Andrews as a Baltimore Raven. Um, that cannot slide. And I know
Okay.
he's a great tight end, one of the best tight ends. It just you can't have that. You can't have that.
Uh-huh.
And then Lamar has a lot of blame as well. The offense did not show up until the second half. Derrick Henry didn't really do that good in the beginning, but picked it up where at the half when
Okay.
he needed him the most. And yeah, that's all I have to say really. Oh wait, actually before that, let me talk about Josh Allen.
Hmm.
Josh Allen did all he needed to do. Didn't really have the flashy stats. James Cook as well cooked. Great game plan defensively for the
Hmm.
Bills. Capitalized. Hats off to them. And now they're
Hmm.
gonna face the Chiefs, and we'll see how that goes.
I've been trying to say. I've been trying to tell people about Lamar Jackson, man. I've been trying to say this, man. Don't let the regular season fool you. He's basically the Dallas Cowboys. Has the flashy regular seasons, but when they need him the most, he doesn't hit it, bro. I mean, you had all the advantages this game. You had 9 all pros on your team, including yourself. Deserving. You had the second best running back in all of football on your side. The big excuse last year was, oh, they didn't have a crazy running back. They didn't run the ball. Well, they did run the ball. So their excuse is not there. Okay. What did Lamar Jackson do last year in the AFC Championship game? You know what he did? He threw a touchdown, but he also threw a pick. He fumbled the ball and lost him the game. What did he do this year? Buffalo Bills. Expectation. His greatest statistical season ever. He loses. He fumbles the ball. He throws an interception. Gives the ball to Josh Allen, and Josh Allen makes winning plays. Okay. Makes a game winning drive. Receivers drop ball. Happens. But what you could do, and I'm not saying Mark Andrews is not at blame. He is at blame. He is a lot to blame. You've got to catch that. You've got to catch that ball. And Mark Andrews, you cannot fumble there. You just can't. You can't fumble there. Okay. But I'll say this about Lamar. He did prove this season that he is a good passer. And he's gonna have to figure out. And maybe he'll never will figure it out in the playoffs. He's gonna have to figure it out. Because at some point that he's not gonna have this much talent next year. I'll say this. He will not have this much talent next year. He won't have 9 all pros next season. He just won't. It's just how the cap works. You're not gonna have 9 all pros next season. This was the year for Lamar Jackson. Last year, people said it was. But this year, this was the year. This was your year where you could have went to Arrowhead and put up a fight against the Chiefs. You could have done it. But you lost to an inferior team. I'm not saying the Bills are a bad team. They're a pretty good team. But they only had 2 all pros. Josh Allen, if there was any doubt of who was MVP, I know Josh Allen didn't have the crazy stats, but he found a way to win. And it's like, if there's any doubt of who's the MVP in the league, I think today it answered it. That it's Josh Allen. This is a one-man show, and he went against a 9 all-pro team and beat them. He beat them. He played amazing. He was the best player on the field. And I'm really, really happy for Josh Allen. Sadly, it's going to come to an end in Arrowhead. That's my prediction already. But I'm excited for what the Bills can do, man, against the Chiefs. I want to see what they do. I'm really excited for them. I think they're a really underrated team. I think they can put a really good threat on the Kansas City Chiefs. They always play the Chiefs really well. And if you're a Chiefs fan, you kind of wanted the Ravens to win this game because I'll say this. Josh Allen puts a fear into the Kansas City Chiefs every time they play them. Every year they play them, Josh Allen plays them really nice. Lamar, it's like the Chiefs know how to beat him. He's 1-5 against them. They know how to beat him. So I'll just end it like this. Lamar Jackson, after this game, I just can't put him in that tier 1 or tier 2 quarterbacks anymore, man. I just can't. I don't care if he wins MVPs. I care about what you do in the postseason. Regular season doesn't matter, but I don't care, man. Like if that's the case, Dak Prescott's a tier 2 quarterback. He has great regular seasons. I know he's never won an MVP, but he has great regular seasons. Doesn't do well in the playoffs. I can't. Like Lamar Jackson is a Dak Prescott with MVPs. He really is. I know he had a decent game, but you can't turn over the ball like that. It's like the same thing with Jared Goff. You you can't turn over the ball and expect to win the game. You just can't. I know Mark Andrews should have made the play. He should have. But who's saying that if he did make the play that Josh Allen was not going to uh, go the distance and kick a field goal for the win? Who's saying he's not? We'll never know. But again, I'm putting like 80-20. 80-20. Because you're the quarterback of the team. You're the leader of the team. You cannot be turning over the ball like this. So that's my take here. I just think that Lamar Jackson, after this game, after a fantastic season, it's a waste of a season now because what do you have to show for it? A second round exit. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I can't put him there yet. I can't. Once he gets over this hump, yeah, I can put him there. But until then, he's just a regular season merchant. He just is. Hopefully,
That's
one day
fair.
he does. For Ravens fans, I hope one day he does, man. He's a fantastic talent. He's gonna one day break out. I'll say that he will one day break out. But will it happen?
Break
We'll
out.
have
You
to
mean
find out.
like make the playoff,
Like
like
in the
make a deep run,
yeah, yeah, that's what I meant. Like
make the
break out
Super
in the
Bowl, make the
playoffs.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, he's getting paid. He's getting paid a lot of money, and you you can't stack up a roster with a big contract. You just know that. So he only has a couple years, man, and you don't know how long Derrick Henry got. You don't know. So yeah, that's just my take, man.
That's fair. Anyways, that's gonna do our episode on the divisional round. 3 more games left in the NFL season. Ah, it's been a long season, and it's gonna be interesting to see how these last couple of weeks are gonna play out, especially next week,
Mm-hmm.
to decide who's gonna
Mm-hmm.
go to the Super Bowl. So if you're interested in our takes and our commentary, please do feel free to hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below what you guys think about our takes down below. Always subscribe to Slashing God Next. He's been putting out a lot more content now recently. Well, we have podcast episodes coming out every uh I guess now Mondays, Tuesdays, or Thursdays. So I guess feel just check it out, I guess, because it's gonna be weird because of playoffs and stuff. So
Yeah.
um, the playoff things are bit kind of wonky a bit. So um feel free to check that
Yeah.
out. Um off season content as well is gonna be out as well, coming
Mm-hmm.
up soon. So feel free to subscribe to and keep up with that. Anything else you want to add?
Nah, not really, man.
All right, guys. That's gonna do it. And as always, we'll see you guys in the next one.